Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners, and I am joined by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily, what are we talking about today?
Well, in episode 27, we talked about how organizations can survive survival mode.
Yes. Yeah.
But even if we're able to find out how to make it through that, we don't want to stay in it forever, right?
Yeah, survival mode is not meant to be forever, even if we're getting good at it.
It should be temporary.
Yes.
How do we escape it? How do we escape survival mode?
Gotcha. So the interesting part about escaping survival mode is it is really essentially about mindset. Mm-hmm. And it's really about seeing possibility. It's funny how many organizations I work with that they're just steeped in survival mode. And I start talking to them about the future, about possibility, about what could be. And I get a lot of, we'll think about that, but we got to get through this other thing. Yeah, they don't actually believe that it's possible. And so as a result, then, they can't think beyond survival mode. And ultimately, we need that. We need hope. Mm-hmm. We really do. And so it is, as a leader, there is the day-to-day function of being in survival mode, making sure our people are okay, make sure we're over-communicating, all the things we talked about. But then there is the, hey, what could be? We've got to be able to dream again, to bring hope to our people, to say, hey, better is possible.
Yeah, I really like the distinction of hope, because that is the opposite, right? Because you can see beyond where you're at, where you're just surviving, and you can see more in the future, and you can see what you're moving towards instead of just what you're churning through. Yes,
it's so easy to feel trapped, right? To feel like there is no hope. And so ultimately, we've got to figure that out. And one way of thinking about this, and this is something that is a very frustrating question one of my coaches gave to me recently. What could I create if I didn't see this as a problem?
Yeah.
So whatever, and her whole point was this massive challenge that's in front of you. What if you didn't view it as a problem? Because when we view it as a problem, now we have very limited approaches to actually dealing with it, right?
You definitely put it in a box.
Yes. What if it wasn't? Mm-hmm. What could be?
Yeah.
And that is such a valuable question to be able to ask. And that's part of how I think we start to get out of that survival mode thinking. We've got to be able to reset. And a lot of this takes intentionality. It takes finding time to be able to do this, right?
Having that mindset to escape, right?
Yes.
Setting yourself up to get out.
It's the hope that better is possible. And that is incredibly hard to do. But if we can carve that time out, and when I think of it in terms of when you're in survival mode, there's this rhythm, and it's fast, and it's just, we got a lot to do. We got a lot we're facing. But if we can carve time out and say, you know what, I know we got a lot going on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a half day. I'm going to take 2 hours, whatever it is. I'm going to gather my team. We're going to gather with a whiteboard, and we're just going to dream. Mm-hmm. What if this wasn't a problem? What if we weren't shorthanded? Run into that a lot. What if we didn't have these budget limitations? Yeah. What if we didn't have these massive challenges we're dealing with?
Things that, again, seem impossible, but ultimately you have to get out of it. You have to dream beyond it, is what I'm hearing.
Well, and the interesting part is when you start dreaming about the future, you start thinking of bigger things. You'd be amazed the novel solutions you will find to some of these challenges, because you're not focused on the challenge. Mm-hmm. You are focused on something else. There's a psychologist, pretty noted psychologist named Carl Jung, and one of the things he says is whatever you resist persists. Mm-hmm. And so if we're sitting there resisting survival mode all the time, it's gonna maintain its control, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if we release that resistance and go get our mind in the thought of what's possible, it starts to truly change things. It starts to open up possibility for us, hopefully provide more hope for our teams. Mm. The other piece of this is really goes back to last episode, talking about controlling what you can control and making sure that you are showing up as the healthiest version of yourself.
Yeah.
That enables you to do that as well.
Right.
So
mindset's a big piece of it, and it's not always
huge.
The easiest piece.
I think self-awareness is a huge key to leadership. Mm-hmm. Mindset might be even bigger than that. It determines everything. It determines the things that actually occur based on what we believe is possible. And so this is essentially getting a team to believe better is possible rather than just one individual. But it does start with the leader. It starts with the one individual. Yeah. If you guys are stuck in survival mode and you want to escape survival mode, think about this idea of mindset. Think about this idea of this question, which is frustrating, but this question, how could I create if I didn't see this as a problem? This allows you to start to get out of survival mode, not to wait until you're out of survival mode to dream again, but to dream in order to get out of survival mode. Show your team that better is possible. Show up as healthy, inspire them. You will begin to escape survival mode. And it seems counterintuitive, but it absolutely works. All right. I love talking mindset, love talking about how do we get out of survival mode. Thank you for bringing that idea. If people want to send us questions, want to send us thoughts for episodes, quotes, whatever it is, where do they send that to?
lab@forwardpartners.net.
lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find us on the socials, all the content we're putting out about leadership, where do they find that?
@ForwardPartner.
@ForwardPartner. Thank you for bringing this and having this conversation with me. Ben, thank you for producing Wilco Workspaces. Thank you for partnering with us on this podcast. We will see you right back here next time in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.